As an Azure administrator or cloud architect, one of your primary responsibilities is to make sure your applications can scale efficiently as demand changes. You want performance to remain consistent whether traffic is light or your system is under heavy load. That's where scalability comes into play. When you configure your virtual machines in Azure, you typically choose between two scaling approaches: vertical scaling and horizontal scaling. Each has its strengths and use cases, and knowing when and how to use them is essential to delivering a resilient and cost-effective solution. Vertical scaling, also known as scale up or scale down, means increasing or decreasing the size and power of a single virtual machine. You are not adding more VMs. You are making one VM more or less powerful by adjusting CPU, memory, or storage. Let's say you have a VM that's over provisioned on weekends. You can scale it down to a smaller size and save cost. Then, when traffic picks up on Monday, you can scale it back up to handle the heavier load. Vertical scaling is perfect for applications that aren't built to run across multiple nodes or where simplicity is more important than flexibility. However, keep in mind, scaling up is limited by the maximum VM size available in your region, and you typically need to restart the VM for changes to apply, which can cause a brief downtime. Horizontal scaling, also referred to as scale out or scale in, is all about changing the number of virtual machines based on demand. Instead of upgrading a single VM, you add more VMs to handle increased workload. When demand drops, you can scale in by removing those extra instances. Horizontal scaling works great in the cloud because it offers flexibility and elasticity. You can run hundreds or thousands of VMs simultaneously to serve large-scale traffic and scale back down just as easily when the load decreases. Plus, this method typically avoids downtime. New instances are provisioned without needing to restart existing ones. When you're deciding between vertical and horizontal scaling, you need to consider how your application behaves and what kind of flexibility you require. If you are looking to optimize costs for underused virtual machines, for example, during off-peak hours, then vertical scaling might be your best option. It's also a good choice when your app needs more power, but isn't built to run across multiple machines or nodes. In that case, scaling up a single VM gives you the performance boost without the complexity of managing a distributed system. On the other hand, if your app needs to handle high traffic, responds to dynamic workloads, or is stateless and designed to run across multiple instances, then horizontal scaling makes a lot more sense. It lets you scale out by spinning up more VMs when demand increases and scale in when demand drops, all without impacting availability. This method offers greater flexibility and usually avoids downtime, unlike vertical scaling, which often requires a VM reboot and comes with hardware size limitations that vary by region. No matter which scaling strategy you choose, don't overlook the impact of reprovisioning. Whether you're scaling up or adjusting infrastructure during maintenance, you may need to replace an existing VM with a new one. Always ask yourself, will this reprovisioning cause an outage? Do you need to preserve and migrate any data between the old and new instances? And can you automate this process using scripts or templates to reduce errors and improve consistency? Your availability plan should account for these scenarios, so you're never caught off guard during a traffic surge or critical system update. Making the right scaling decision and planning for how it's implemented ensures your systems stay resilient, responsive, and cost efficient. So, what's your key takeaway? In the cloud, scalability equals survival. By mastering vertical and horizontal scaling, you gain the ability to match your infrastructure to your workload, optimizing performance, reducing cost, and delivering a better experience for your users. The key is understanding your app's behavior and knowing which scaling method to apply and when. With smart planning, you can build systems that flex when needed and rest when they're idle, saving you time, money, and headaches along the way.